everybody, welcome back. This is what happens when Bridezillas go on their honeymoon. Spoiler alert. It's not good. Married people of Reddit, what is your honeymoon horror story? Not my current wife, but my former. We decided to take a cruise for our honeymoon. Cheap, travel, beach, possibly fun.
What's not to love?
I booked the trip for a few months after our wedding because that's kind of what worked best for us. Fast forward to then, she heads out for our departure port a day early to go hang with college friends. I leave later because I'm at work. I get to the port on departure date and she's nowhere to be found. She's not answering calls or texts. I start to get worried. I call her folks. They haven't heard from her. She's seemingly vanished. After a few hours of panic, I get a message from her. She's not going on our honeymoon. What in the hell? What in the actual hell is that? Turns out she's shacked up with a guy and we're done. Joke's on her, I went on the cruise anyway and had a frickin' fantastic time. We divorced very soon afterwards. She married that guy, had a kid, they split. She married another guy, haven't heard from her since. Me, I'm happily married now with 4 kids and things are going pretty great. Well, Funk Turkey, thank you for sharing. I'm glad that she, cheated before she went on an expensive honeymoon with you. Y'all would have just killed each other by the end. Also, being stuck on a cruise ship with someone like that, those cabins are pretty small. The toilets are aggressive as well. An estimated 53,000 people visit Disney World each day. No, they do not care that it's your honeymoon. I have friends honeymooning in Disney World now, and it's really disappointing to see them getting special treatment all over, and we got nothing special. It feels like they didn't care at all or even realize that we were honeymooners. Yeah, here's the thing. With that many people going to Disney World, I'm not sure it's of their utmost priority to make sure they give you special treatment. I think that they could probably be okay, on the advertising side without giving you special treatment. There's still going to be people that go to Disney World without you. Did you tell them that you were on your honeymoon? Did you book like a honeymoon suite? Generally speaking, if it is your honeymoon, cruise ships I know do nice things for you. They make the swan towels and stuff, the animal towels. But I don't think Disney World has any obligation to do that. You ruined my honeymoon. A little background. I was a travel agent in Orlando, Florida back in the 90s. For the most part, I loved my job. I worked in a travel agency where we sold a high percentage of cruises. We advertised all over the USA our special cruise prices that we were negotiating with cruise lines. Most of our business was over the phone and I very rarely had customers come into the travel agency. Anyways, I had this bride-to-be call and wanted this specific cruise line and this specific ship going to the Bahamas for a 4-day cruise. She knew what she wanted. The cruise was for her honeymoon. I booked airline tickets from Texas, can't remember what airport, to Orlando the next morning after the wedding, the cruise to the Bahamas, and after the cruise, a 3-night stay at a Disney hotel. Time passes and I send them their cruise documents and physical airline tickets. I normally didn't hear from customers if everything was fine. Well, the next day after the cruise, I get a couple coming roaring into my office and the bride is fit to be tied. Not knowing who she is, I'm taken aback by someone glaring at me. The following conversation takes place. Hi, what can I do for you? Angry bride.
You ruined my honeymoon.
I'm sorry? Let me look at your booking. I pull out all my notes from the initial call from months ago. I see that she gave me the wedding date, the cruise line she wanted, and the cruise ship she wanted going to the Bahamas. I go over everything with her and her now husband and ask her what went wrong.
The Bahamas was closed. All the shops were closed.
It was the 4th of July and everything was closed. I didn't do any shopping. The Bahamas was closed. Why did you let me book that cruise on the day the Bahamas would be closed? Sorry you weren't able to go shopping? More ranting and raving. Sometimes you need to let crazies vent. They finish and get up and go. Nope, not this one. I want a full refund of the airline tickets, cruise, and hotel. But you still went to the Bahamas. I'm thinking I want to be 6 foot and a great body, but that's not happening either. I can't refund your money. For 1, you flew here to Orlando. 2, you went on the cruise. 3, you're still staying at the hotel. Okay, so you went on a cruise ship. And when you were in the Bahamas off the cruise ship, things were closed. But things on the cruise ship were still open. And now you want your money back? I want to talk to your manager. Who saw that coming? Oh, no. Who? What? Since when? Why do they always want to speak to the manager? I am the manager. Insert eating grin here. More screams. Let me ask you a question. Did you want this cruise line and this ship?
Yes.
Did you want to travel on this date?
Yes, because it was right after my wedding. I want to go to the Bahamas right after my wedding.
How long did you plan your wedding?
Almost a year.
So if I asked you to change your wedding date, you wouldn't have.
No.
Looking at me like I have 3 heads. So if you weren't willing to change your wedding day, then why are you asking me to refund you on something that I can't change? The Bahamian government isn't going to change their Independence Day for you. Goodbye. Babe. They just wanted money out of you. That's all it was. Wait till someone tells this entitled bride about siestas. Oh, you know, when like half of Europe and Latin America shut down just because they want to take a nap in the middle of the day? Try telling an Italian that they're not taking their siesta because you need to go into their shop. Just do it. You know what they're gonna say? Ma vaffanculo. Pay for my historic wedding, y'all. Hi, y'all. As you know, me and David are getting married. Afgeftrig married. Oh yeah? Are you? Afgeftrig? Soon I will be Mrs. David Blank. Blankety blankety blitty blank. Can you believe it? I can.
Lol, I deserve it.
Stop it. Stop. We are blessed that David's godmother has invited us to have her wedding at her estate in Maine. I'll share some photos later, but it's gorgeous and it's a historical landmark, which means my wedding is going to be historic.
Lol.
Because we are having an out-of-state wedding, which means we will be traveling and staying in hotels, and also because of our honeymoon in Dubai. 1 month? Who takes a 1-month honeymoon? 1 month? I'm asking for y'all's help with some of the wedding stuff. If anyone has any experience as a professional photographer, not a hobby, but getting paid as a job, please contact me or David. We need you. This could be considered your gift to us. We need you to pay for your travel to Maine and everything, but I think once you saw where the wedding is at, you'll be begging for us for the opportunity. Oh, you think so? Yeah? I don't know about that. If anyone knows a good caterer in Maine willing to travel to Maine who will work for exposure. I'm gonna be starting an Instagram soon. Oh, okay, so you like literally don't even have social media and you want to pay people in social media exposure? Shut up. Any dress designers out there, I want that one-of-a-kind dress. You need to be professional and talented. I want to feel like a princess. I will post your info and all of the pictures on here and on my Instagram. So again, you want a free dress? We also need all the usual stuff: flowers, seating, music, orchestra, no DJ. This will be classy. I can already tell you our event will get press because of the historic location. So you have your husband-to-be's godmother letting you use her place as a location. So I'm assuming that cost is covered. So you literally don't want to pay for anything? Nothing? Not sure that that's gonna work. I think by definition, weddings cost money. Good luck with that. Did it turn out okay? Did you get what you wanted? I fly a lot, and I have this annoying thing that makes me need to pee while on flights. Every hour or less. That's why I always book an aisle seat so I don't need to keep bothering others to get up for me, especially on long haul flights. Dude, same. Always in the aisle because I have to pee all the time and I hate asking people to move for me. It's so annoying.
I'm just thinking of everyone else.
Cause yeah. My bladder is like this big. A few years back, flying from Berlin to New York with Air Berlin, I tried reserving an aisle seat, but the only one available was a premium one. I added the almost $100 to the ticket price just so that I can get an aisle seat. This couple boards. They were apparently on their honeymoon, but for some reason didn't think to get select seats in advance. So they got assigned with separate seats at air check-in. One of them got a free premium seat next to the window next to me, and the other a middle seat a few rows back. Entitled beggar jams herself into the seat next to me without asking me to get up or move. At this point, she's already angry at something. She immediately clicks the call flight attendant button and huffs and puffs at every passenger boarding as if they are grabbing her potential seats. As a flight attendant walks by, entitled beggar goes full on with her honeymoon and that it's not right that the airline didn't automatically place her and her husband together or give them both a free upgrade, and that she demands to sit with her husband. It doesn't work that way anymore. you don't get to sit together usually. You have to like pay for your seat or pick your seat in advance. Otherwise, it's kind of shit out of luck. Flight is apparently fully booked, no available seats, and no easy ability to place the lovely couple together.
Lovely couple. Love them. So nice.
The flight attendant at this point, being polite, looks at me and said, "Sir, would you mind switching seats with this lady's husband?" I ask what seat he's in, and it's a middle seat, economy row. Not wanting to explain my whole pee issues in public, I say sorry, but I really need to be in an aisle seat. Flight attendant gets pissed at me that she now needs to deal with it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's like your job, isn't it? The entitled beggar started talking loudly in a different language with her husband, who's a few rows back, huffing and puffing, trying to make a scene. A few minutes later, about 3 flight attendants working on it while entitled beggar is yelling at them, her husband, but has yet to say a single word to me. She's moved to sit by her husband and some people are moved around for it. I get evil looks from the flight attendants during the entire flight. I pee every hour. Air Berlin goes bankrupt. Not sure if this incident is related, or is it? Oh, it's absolutely related. Absolutely. It's all because you refuse to stand up and bow to this entitled B word. That's karma. P.S. I wouldn't have minded giving up the premium seat. All I cared about was the damned aisle seat. I love how she never just like asked you, you know? See, there's this thing. Some people don't really necessarily understand it. It's called being nice and reasonable. So, usually if you're nice to people and you ask nicely, they tend to do as you ask.
Shocker, I know. What?
Entitled honeymooners kicked off a plane to the Bahamas. Why is it always the Bahamas? This happened almost 6 years ago, around Christmas time. I, along with my fiance, now husband, sister, brother-in-law, mom, and dad were on a flight from Atlanta to Nassau, Bahamas. It was a late flight, so I was already tired, and I'm not a night owl, and I can't sleep on planes at all. During boarding, there was a young couple that were making out a few rows ahead of me. You can clearly tell that they were honeymooners. I ignored their making out mostly. But the woman sitting next to them kept complaining to the flight attendants that she was very uncomfortable sitting next to them, as she told them many times to stop making out, but they ignored her. Eventually, a flight attendant forced the husband to move to another row in the back. He looked majorly pissed. Oh, to be young and in love and to annoy others with your love. Could you just like not kiss for a couple of hours, guys? Could you not like, you can kiss, but like, not that much. All I could hear was his wife arguing to herself and the woman in her row. During takeoff, both of them were being super disruptive and arguing with the flight attendants, as obviously they didn't like being separated from each other and they felt they did nothing wrong. The arguing/disruption got so bad the plane had to turn around, go back to the gate, and security came in and escorted the couple off the plane. Bro, what? I was more on the piss side, as this made our flight even more delayed. Luckily, my SO helped calm me down. We then took off an hour after our original takeoff time. Funny enough, a week later on the flight from Nassau to Atlanta on the return trip, I saw a familiar looking couple waiting at the gate. Yep, the honeymooners. I guess they were able to go on their honeymoon after all. Hopefully they learned their lesson. Don't make out on planes. At least like not that much. We get it. You're in love, you're excited to spend the rest of your days with one person, and you know when you're just so in love that you just like wish you could just jump inside another person. Yeah, I get it. I do. However, save it for the honeymoon. Subscribe!